Zinni's story, The Art of Sharing. When I've earned my Zinni Petal, I will know how to be considerate and caring, just like Zinni the Zinnia. Zinni's story, The Art of Sharing. Ring! The bell at the Petal Elementary School rang. Through the halls, the flower friends jumped up from their desk. It was time to go to the art room, one of their favorite places in the school. Zinni was especially excited because she loved to paint and draw. She was already thinking about the new picture she wanted to make. It would show all the flower friends having a party in the daisy garden. She burst into the art room ahead of everyone else. She was the first one there. "I'm in luck," she said, grabbing several bottles of paint. She put them in front of an easel with a blank piece of paper on it. "I can get all the colors I want to make in my painting." The other flower friends came into the room. "Oh, look, there are new coloring books," Clover said. She picked up 3 of them. Gloria and Jerry each took 2 more. They put the coloring books on the table by the window and sat down. Rosie rushed over to the cupboard that held the crayons and markers. She grabbed a bin and took it to the table by the door. Vi and Lupe did the same thing. Then the 2 groups of flower friends stared at each other. "Wait a second," Clover said. "We need crayons and markers to color in the coloring books." "Well, we need coloring books to use our crayons," said Rosie. Zinni looked at her friends. None of them were happy. She saw a goldfinch standing shyly by another easel that had a painting of a tree on it. The painting wasn't quite finished. Only half of the leaves had been painted. Zinni glanced down at the bottle of paint in front of her. "Oh, I'm sorry," she said to the goldfinch. "I was so excited about my picture that I took all of the paint. It wasn't very considerate of me. We should share. What colors do you want?" "Thank you," the goldfinch said with a big smile. "I'd like the bottle of green paint to add more leaves to my tree, please." Clover and Rosie watched as the goldfinch began painting happily. "Zinni's right," Clover said. "Sharing is a way of caring for your friends." She turned to Rosie. "Rosie, why don't we take one of these coloring books?" Jerry and Gloria smiled as they held out their stack of coloring books to Vi and Lupe. "Yes, pick the one you like," Jerry said. Gloria nodded. "After all," she said, "we can only color one picture at a time." "Thanks, Clover," Rosie said. "Do you want to use some of the crayons and markers? When you're done, we can trade." "That's a great idea," Vi and Lupe said together. All the flower friends sat down to color. "It's so much nicer when we can all paint and color together," Zinni said. "And when we're done, we'll have a beautiful art gallery to show our friends and families." Talk about Zinni's story. Why did Zinni forget to be considerate and caring at first? What reminded her of her promise to act in a considerate and caring way? How do you think the flower friends felt when they shared their coloring books, crayons, and markers instead of keeping them for themselves? Come up with ideas of how to be like Zinni. Sit in circles of 3 to come up with different ways you can be considerate and caring. Share your ideas with the larger group. Practice being considerate and caring. There are a lot of ways you can act like Zinni. Try it out by doing some of these activities. Count how many daisies are at your meeting, and then count how many snacks you have. How many snacks can each daisy have if you want to make sure everyone gets a treat? Or set up tables with paper, crayons, markers, and paints. Start drawing pictures. Ask an adult to ring a bell every 5 minutes. When the bell rings, trade whatever you're using to make your drawing with the daisy sitting next to you. Have fun seeing how your picture changes as you share different supplies. Or think of 3 ways you can be considerate and caring at home, at school, or at your daisy meeting. Talk about it with someone in your family. Draw a picture of you doing those 3 things and put it somewhere you can see it to remind you to be considerate and caring every day. Congratulations! You have earned your Zinni Petal. Now when you say the Girl Scout Law, you'll know exactly what that line means. Wear the petals on your tunic or vest to remind you to be as considerate and caring as you can be. Gather together with your daisy friends. You can say the law up to Zinni's line. Now you know 3 lines of the law. Keep adding the lines as you earn more petals. The Girl Scout Law. I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring.